Hello, as I record this video, I'm surrounded by tiny little babies like this. So if you hear any little squeaks or random noises, it's the babies. Well, hello, it's been a few weeks since I last posted. I've recorded lots of videos that I haven't shared, but this is the one that's going up. As you can see, my face is a bit battered and red and dotty. My skin's been in a bad way since about June, but in the last month it's sort of exploded terribly. And then yesterday I had a bit of an accident with one of my cats. Ouch. So I haven't been in the wars, I haven't had a fight with anybody, but nevertheless this is what I look like without my makeup. Lots of the time when I do my videos I cover up, or I just put on the most basic makeup possible to cover up marks. Anyway, so that leads me on to what I'm doing today. So today I'm going to sit and show you how I do the beginning of my makeup, how I cover up my dark circles, ouch, oh that was sore, and all my dots. Okay, go to sleep. Go to sleep. So the first thing I do after washing my face is cover my face with moisturiser, and once that's sort of set I then go in with primer. Now the primer I've been using is the Revlon Photoready, but as you can see it's almost finished. So for the last week or so I've been using Smooth Miracle by Max Factor. This isn't my favourite primer, but I got given this for free so I might as well use it. Alright, let's go in. Woo! Right. It's one thing having red marks, it's another thing when you have dermatillomania and your skin is mega sore. So putting on products can actually make your skin even worse, but sometimes there are occasions where you have to cover up, or you feel you need to cover up in order to feel okay. I know I say a lot that it doesn't matter what you look like, and that is true, but for example if I was going to a job interview I don't want to turn up with loads of cuts and marks all over my face. Oh god, I'm summarising. It is difficult finding products that you can put over the top that don't sting and last a long time. For me, lots of makeup doesn't last very long, so when I vlog it's great, but when I go out all day it comes off gradually. I'm babbling a little bit. Right, I'm going to be very careful under here. Oh, oh my goodness, that is sore. Woohoo! Right, there we go. As you can see, I'm putting on a lot of primer. That's quite normal for me, especially when my skin is bad. The better my skin, the less primer I use. Now that's done, I move on to colour concealer. Now, although this looks cream, it's actually yellow. I don't know if you can tell, but I normally have very dark purple circles. I never get brown circles, which sounds good, but then lots of people think I'm ill because they're not brown. Today they're not too bad, but sometimes I wake up and my goodness, it looks like I've got purple eyeshadow everywhere. So yeah, the yellow concealer cancels out the purple. So I just go under my eye like this, ta-da! And up here. And sometimes, depending on how dark or how pigmented these marks are, I'll go over those as well. This is not normal concealer, this is a coloured concealer, so don't go crazy with it. And then I go in with a brush and just dab it off. I think I'm going to go back to that. It sort of makes everything grey or white. It creates like a base coat to put the rest of the makeup over. So as you can see, I'm just sort of blending it in. I hope I'm doing okay. It's the first time I've done anything quite like this, talking and doing this at the same time. Right, I'm just gonna put... Okay. Woo! Oh my goodness, that's sore. Sorry. I know some people are like, hey, if it's sore, don't touch it, but with derma, you have sore skin all the time. Okay. I'm using my camera like a mirror, but I always have a smaller mirror to hand so I can see around my cheeks. Because when you're doing your makeup from the front, it's very easy to forget those bits. So I find this helps a little bit. Right, so I use 3 different concealers. I'll come back to that one. This one's by Revlon and this one's by MAC. Those two do exactly the same thing, but I find the MAC one lasts so much longer and the pigment is so much stronger that it's better for when my marks are darker. The price of the Revlon is very low compared to the MAC, so I don't use that as often as I wish I could. That is my ultimate saviour. I love this. So what I will do is I'll do one eye with one concealer and one eye with the other. You probably won't notice the difference. As I said, sometimes in videos our makeup looks okay and then during the day it changes, so we'll see. But right, let's do Revlon on the right and MAC on the left. Again, just dabbing it on. No, 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 we're doing Revlon. I normally don't put concealer on the top of my eye, but seeing as I'm not going to do eyeshadow today, can't hurt. And again, just tapping it on. I think when I first started doing makeup, I used to rub really aggressively, when in fact tapping it helps. And then I'm going to use a combination of MAC and Revlon for my cheeks because my cheek pigmentation is very strong. Here we go. Ta-da! So wherever those dots are, I just go in and dab. There we go. Okay, we're using MAC on the left eye. For me, MAC is very expensive and I have very few MAC products. The ones I have, I use because they work and on my face they last a long time. I seem to have used a lot of my MAC concealer since the summer, so it doesn't last that long in terms of how much there is. There we go, so that eye is done. And then I just lightly go in and tap this on. Carefully, because it's sore. Doesn't look sore, but oh, my cheek's sore. There we go. By the way, I know I'm not a makeup guru of any kind, and my makeup application is probably terrible or incorrect, but this is how I do my makeup, and it works for me. To be honest, at the end of the day, as long as something works for you, then there's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to use a bit of MAC on my cut under my eye. There we go, because I think it's stronger. Woohoo! There we go. I love the fact every time I dab any makeup around that area I make funny noises. Right, okay, that's the concealer done. Over the last few months I've been trying not to wear that much makeup, so I haven't been wearing foundation in the majority of my videos. I just do my concealer, cover with powder, and then finish the rest of my routine. But for the sake of today, I'm going to use my foundation. It's got no label on it, it's worn off. Okay, it's from Rimmel, that's all I can tell you. I've had this months. Sometimes I use a brush, but I found these very helpful. So again, I just dab it on, like so. There we go. And then lightly tap in. There we go. And I say lightly because if you rub too much, you can rub off the concealer. At least that's what happens to me sometimes. Now sometimes I find that my marks around my cheeks don't respond well to liquid concealer, so I use my other concealer that's more of a cream. So if some of my marks have changed a little bit as I've put on my foundation, I go back in with this over the top. There we go, and continue dabbing. It's not as simple as just putting on the product quickly and it all being done in one go, like that cheek. That cheek's fine, but this cheek, it needs a bit more care. It's like art, you're painting a canvas. It's interesting because the skin on my forehead isn't that bad for once, so I haven't really applied any makeup to the top, which is great for me, but yeah, sometimes I get marks on my forehead. Right, careful there. In terms of covering up the marks, that's it, and then I'll start the rest of my makeup routine. So I'll put high beam here, 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 and then I'll use powder. Because high beam is a liquid, I do that before my powder, but I'm not going to do that today. Today I'm just going to go straight in with my powder. On the days where I don't really want to look like I'm wearing any makeup, I'll just do this. I'll just go straight to powder. And again, press lightly. You don't want to cover too much. I also try to use translucent powder, because white powder really makes me look like a ghost. So now I've done my powder, I then go in and do the rest of my eye makeup and then put blusher on at the very end. But sometimes I find that even now, some of my marks still start to show through, so I go back. I know there's a lot of reapplication. There we go. Just a little bit. The thing is, it's not perfect, but it's enough that it covers and makes it less obvious. It's not as obvious. And again, don't forget to check your cheeks, so there's nothing left. So there we go, that is how I cover my marks. That's the very beginning of my makeup routine. I know I've left a big chunk of my makeup routine out, but I wanted to focus this on just covering marks. This is just the base of my makeup. I will put a list of all the products that I used in the video description for you, but what I'd say is it doesn't really matter what products you use, providing that they work for you. So just because that works for me doesn't mean it will work for you, but still some people might find it helpful. This is the first video I've sort of done like this, especially for Derma, so I hope this has been helpful. I know I need to do a video about how I draw on my eyebrows, because right now they're not quite there. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below, and I will do my best. And I think that's it. So yeah, I'll see you soon, everyone. First of all, I started feeling the wind blowing through my hair and feeling the hair actually move, so that was a really good thing. I mean, technically I've been able to feel that for a while, but there's a difference between feeling the wind and the hair actually having a bit of a party on the top of your head.